Alright guys, third time is the charm. It's still not working on our side, but since you are saying that you can see us, we'll attempt to do a blind live session today. So we can see your question if I don't touch anything, so hopefully that's gonna work. Anyway, we are the experts of traveling in New Zealand. Why, Laura? Sorry, that's the third time, so I'm just, I'm streamlining it. Why, Laura? Why? Oh, why?
NZPocketGuide. Yeah, us two. Travel questions, go. I know. So this is Robin, and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it literally has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the... Why are you shaking your
No,
head?
just go. It's I don't know.
Okay. Because it literally has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand. Of course, when you're actually able to come to New Zealand, because at the time of recording, which is Halloween, October 2021, the borders are still closed to New Zealand for most international travellers. So, yeah, but it's never too early to plan. And, you know, with the amount of content that we have on NZPocketGuide.com, which is 100% free, by the way, it will take you a long time to get through everything so that you can plan an absolutely perfect trip to New Zealand. So why not get started now? But if you're not really into reading, because there are a lot of words on there, you can always come to this live session that we do every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And you guys can come into the live chat and ask your New Zealand travel questions directly to the experts. If you miss a live session, however, you can always put your questions in the comments section of any of our YouTube videos, and we pull those questions together and we go through as many as we can during the live session, or we make it pretty handy for you guys and we just answer your questions in the comments. But also, just so you know, when the live sessions are scheduled for coming up, we do it every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time, and you can see a handy link in the description which will direct you to what time that will be in your chosen time zone. But the best way to know when we're coming live is you can subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so you get notifications every time we're about to go live. They're not always as sketchy as the one that we've just done today, where we've had to restart about 3 times, having a few...
Yeah, we're gonna have to go fast because I can scroll through the comments. So as you guys comment, I won't be able to scroll up and down. So we're gonna have to.
Okay, shall we just go straight to the comments?
All right, cool. Extreme Talata says, Morena, this is gonna be a nightmare, this live session, guys. So bear with us for this hour. I have no idea how much chaos that is, but. All right, so we have Extreme Talatas that says, Morena. We have Samantha Vlogs, which I haven't watched Samantha's vlogs, but I'm going to check it out now since she's popping in. And she says, good morning. We have Jason Abraham that gives us a salamander emoji. I love that.
Nice.
That's really cool. We have Clay that says round 2. And we have Extreme Talata that explained to Clay that it's round 3. And yes, it is round 3.
Yeah.
Eric G says, I must know. What must you know? Tell us, Eric. Just ask.
Maybe there was another part of the question that got lost somewhere.
Yes.
So make sure to, if we don't read your comments, because we usually read everyone's comments during this live session, but if we don't read yours, then just put it again.
Yeah.
Maybe it just got skipped on.
I have no idea what's happening today, guys. There is neither like the OBS streaming software nor YouTube itself actually works. I feel like we must be like so far behind. Okay. What else do we have? We have Mussen, which is emoji guy, and he gives us a lot of emoji. There's a heart, a rose, a praying, a bouquet of flower. There is a plane, there is planet, there is a ton of stuff. I'm going a bit fast, guys, just because I want to make sure that I don't miss anyone. Sam Smith, all the way from Australia. I remember you, Sam. And says, hello, awesome expert. How are you doing, Sam?
Hello.
We also have Kole that says, what happened? What happened is that, when going live streaming like that, we're trying to connect a software called OBS to YouTube Studio in order to make it work together. However, YouTube is literally the actual worst website ever to have to log in onto and everything like that. So when I log in, it's going to wait like about 15 minutes to kind of ask me to verify with my phone. Like I have to scan a QR code to say it's me. Sometimes it literally waits 15 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't do it for months, right? And sometimes I'm live right now and it asks me to do this scanning and everything like that. It will disconnect everything without already telling me in the background and everything. But because it's live, it doesn't stop the live session. Therefore, it's still streaming, and therefore there's not enough internet for me to be able to reconnect. I mean, to scan this thing, and for those two things to. It's an absolute nightmare. It's just anyway.
Bet you're glad you're asked.
yeah. It's just don't make me rant about YouTube. Don't. Okay, where are we on? Third session. Yep, Clay is giving us some hairdresser emojis. Yes. So, guys, poll of the day.
Oh God.
How would you describe Laura's new haircut? Here are your options: ravishing, exquisite, dazzling, or simply horrible.
I saw those adjectives written down. I was like, what? Are you trying to expand your vocabulary during the live session or something? But
I just didn't want to misspell ravishing, exquisite, and dazzling, since I don't spell those words very often. So yeah, I just make sure
But horrible you do.
Horrible, I'm really good at
always...
spelling, guys. I'm very, very good. I can spell it with my eyes closed and in many different languages. Okay, so yeah, that is your voting of today, your poll of today. So make sure you vote. There is 10 of you guys that voted already, and there is a few even. So here you go. Let's not make horrible win.
I mean, I know what I think, which is probably more the horrible side of things, but
no, I like it.
I think I preferred the longer hair myself, but I mean, it'll grow.
Okay,
Not
so
too
we have
fast.
Adil that is very nice, and he says, Kia ora, Robin and Laura, third time lucky, audio and video 100% clear for now. Okay, good.
Thanks.
Clay says, would you recommend any craft beers that have become available in recent times while traveling New Zealand? Well, the beer that you sent me is actually not available in New Zealand, is it? I thought it was from the UK, but yes, that's one of the big news items of the week, guys. A brand new beer has come to the market, and it's a Marmite beer. For all of you guys that want that, as you can see from Laura's face, I didn't tell her about that. But yeah, a company called Campbell decided to do Marmite beers, and just that's the worst. And Clay decided to ruin my day yesterday by sending me that press release.
Oh my God.
You are the worst, Clay. Okay, we have Anthony Comstock, this is Morena from Rodeo, California. We have Monkey Punk. Oh my God. Award of the best username of today. This is for you. Monkey Punk. I love that. All right, so today that is Monkey Punk that gets my award. And he says, or he or she says, hello from the USA.
Hello.
Big Dealer in the house says, now it seems like we are good. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Kedar says, sir. Heart is really, really screaming. We students, we've been waiting for months and months for border to open, and now in our country is standing very strongly against COVID. Predict something. Yes, we will talk about that in the news segment of this video. So that's going to come in about probably about 10 minutes. Let me just clear up all the early comments, and then we'll do the news. So stay around, Kedar. Mohammed says, Laura's new haircut looks beautiful, doll. Nice. So there is 13 votes. So far, guys, it's really even. We have 23% for ravishing, 31% for exquisite, 31% for dazzling, and 15% for horrible. Two people voted for horrible. So...
I guess my hair's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And
or my Marmite beer.
And it's terrible mixed with beer. So, don't do that. All right. Jessica says, I'm from Brazil. I like you. Hey, Jessica, how are you doing? We like you too. I love all the little heart emojis we're getting. Collie says, I love Laura's new haircut. Ooh, good success.
Oh, thank you.
Sam Smith says, what's the national vaccination rate? Australia has passed 80%. Laura, do you want to quickly give me the number?
It's 73.2% fully vaccinated.
There you go. We'll go over more of the news in a minute, Sam. Martina from Germany says, I like your new trailer. Oh, thank you very much. So we try to start with a little trailer, just so we can actually try to work out the kink and not have to stumble upon the beginning of every live session, which, as you can tell, works great.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so we're working on it. Martina, but yes. I appreciate the fact you like it. All right, Mosen, emoji guy says, I just turned 33 4 days ago and New Zealand borders still aren't open. Happy birthday, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But yeah. Glad to know that we are similar age and I'm not the oldest around this live session. I appreciate that. BJN says, Laura, this is her name. Good job. Then we have Adil that says, I would like to know what are the official... Yes, I did remember your questions because you asked it on the first attempt. All right, so Adil, I'm going to go quite fast on this question just because literally it's already ready for you. Adil says, I would like to know what are the official website for the following departments. 1, Immigration New Zealand. So it's immigration.govt.nz. There is a link in the description of this video for you. New Zealand Department of Conservation, doc.govt.nz. Just doc.govt.nz. And then the New Zealand Ministry of Education, there is a link for you in the description of this video as well. So there is already a link. You literally just scroll a little bit down, you open the description, there is a link ready for you in the description for you. Clay is having a crack. Sam Smith says, silly question, how do you vote? I think if you go if you go in the chat, there's going to be a little bit of a poll, and you can.
It's at the bottom of the chat.
Yeah, at the bottom of the chat. Yeah.
Maybe refresh the page if it's not there.
Yes.
Maybe it's not there for some weird reason. But yeah.
Don't ask me why YouTube doesn't work.
Why does YouTube do what it does? We don't know.
Monkey Punk gives us a really nice emoji. Thinks very happy to get the award of the day. Well, it's your fault for having a fun nickname. That is just entirely your fault. Clay asking Talota about the games. Okay, the chit chat about that. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So, while you guys are getting warmed up with some questions, I think I'm just all caught up with the questions. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a mess today. We're just trying to get back into, making it work. But we're going to be doing the news. So, there's been a few news items happening today, and therefore I need to do that. I'm on the ball, guys. I'm on the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't group them together. Oh, very sad. Okay, so I need to do that. Then I need to do that.
Well, as we transition onto the news, and Robin does that.
Does that. On this.
Yeah, we will be. Well, usually I would tell you what is happening, what's coming up on the channel, but I don't have those notes in front of me.
This is an absolute nightmare. All right,
yeah.
We should be good to go for the news. What am I saying usually? Oh yes, now I remember. All right. Welcome to New Zealand Travel News, the segment where we go over the news that people looking to travel to or in New Zealand may care about. We are the team behind New Zealand's largest travel guide, NZPocketGuide.com. I am Robin, and this is Laura.
Okay, let's start with the COVID-19 situation in New Zealand currently. So we have 73.2% of the eligible population fully vaccinated in New Zealand. 14.3% have only had one of the dose, and 12.5% are currently unvaccinated. New Zealand is split between Alert Level 2 and Alert Level 3. And in terms of cases in New Zealand at the moment, we have over 1,500 cases in the community. Locations of the cases have now spread beyond just Auckland, with Auckland, Northland, Napier, Wellington, and in the South Island, Blenheim and Christchurch currently having cases.
Indeed. So the cases are slowly spreading around New Zealand. And in fact, we even did send a case from Christchurch all the way to the small country of Tonga, which is their first case of COVID-19 ever. So yeah, it is spreading around the country, and that means that New Zealand is going to be split in between alert level for a foreseeable amount of time right now. But there is an end in sight with vaccination rates going up and up and up. However, in order for us to pass the 90% mark, which is kind of has been semi-stated by the government for things to actually change, it will still require a significant amount of effort, because the last few people that needs to be vaccinated are going to require some heavy convincing.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to some news that we have pulled from Radio New Zealand, RNZ, published on the 28th of October 2021, entitled, Some Vaccinations Received Overseas Are Now Registered, or Recognised, sorry. The government has recognised border workers inoculated with vaccines other than Pfizer. 3 vaccines given overseas, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Janssen, probably didn't pronounce any of those right, are now permitted for jobs that require inoculation against COVID-19, such as MIQ staff, so that's quarantine staff, ports and airline crew. Health officials say anyone who has already received one dose of Pfizer, Moderna, or AstraZeneca while overseas is required to have a second dose of Pfizer. Border workers vaccinated using Janssen do not need a further dose of Pfizer.
All right, so this only applies currently to people which are working at the borders, border workers, right? But that's a really good sign for us to be informed in which vaccine are going to be recognized in New Zealand. And that's a question that you guys are asking us really often. You're asking us which COVID-19 vaccine will be recognized when it comes down to traveling to New Zealand. There has been no official announcement yet, but this is a really good sign since the New Zealand government recognizes those 3 vaccines as okay for people working at the border. Some people do, some of those people will require an extra dose of Pfizer vaccine, except the people that have had the Janssen vaccine, if I'm correct. But that just gives us a very early indication for when travelers are going to be able to come to New Zealand, which vaccines are going to be accepted. So far, those 3 vaccines are likely to be accepted for traveling to New Zealand. That's why we included this news to this news segment. I know it only applies to border workers right now, but this may be extrapolated to further travel later on.
Okay, so now we're going to go through the MIQ changes, and this news is pulled from Radio New Zealand as well, also published on the 28th of October. A 3-part overhaul of Managed Isolation and Quarantine, MIQ, has been announced by the government. From the 8th of November, double vaccinated travellers from low-risk Pacific countries, Samoa, Tonga, Vanuatu and Tokelau, will be able to skip MIQ. From the 14th of November, returnees will only need to spend 7 days in MIQ and 3 days at home, with tests on day 0, day 3 and day 9. In early 2022, COVID-19 Response Minister Chris Hipkins said more travellers would be able to isolate at home. He said it was time to rethink how the country managed the border because of vaccination rates were leading to fewer people testing positive for MIQ. Hipkins expected the first two changes to free up an additional 1,500 rooms per month, though some would be reserved for community cases.
Yes, so basically they're going to be starting to move into a different system in order to manage the isolation quarantine, because there is just not enough spots for people wanting to come to New Zealand. It won't really free enough spots to actually allow wider tourism coming to New Zealand. However, it should help offset the flow for people wanting to come for Christmas and for the remainder of the summer period, if you do have obviously a legitimate reason to come to New Zealand. So again, just to make it really clear, right, those changes are going to be implemented as tests. It's going to be a very slow implementation, and those dates are not hard set and they absolutely can't move. An extra thing to mention is that if the managed isolation time frame is reduced by half, then the fee for managed isolation will be reduced by half as well, making it around $1,550 for one person to be in managed isolation quarantine, which it's much more affordable if you are planning to come to New Zealand. But again, you will have to have the authorization to come to New Zealand in those managed isolation quarantine, and as of now, that's probably only going to apply to New Zealand citizens at this stage.
Okay, moving on to our travel deals of the week. So this is a little bit of happier news. So do the skywalk around the top of the Sky Tower with the family for only $300 New Zealand dollars. The family skywalk deal is for 2 adults and 2 kids under 14 years old for only $300, saving a whopping $240 New Zealand dollars. That includes the skywalk, the pass to the Sky Tower, a certificate, and a hat for all members of the family.
And a hat. It's a really cool thing to do. We do really enjoy the skywalk, and we have done it. There is a video in the channel, and I will put it here when we replay the video. It's a really cool thing to do. It's way too high for my taste.
Robin did the sky shuffle rather than the skywalk.
Walking without moving my feet too much off the ground because that's crazy high. but that was kind of a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely check this out if you are able to make your way around New Zealand. It still is valid for quite a long time. So, you know, I know in Auckland there's still a ton of regulation and everything like that, but you know, you're still on alert 3, but it's still going to be valid for quite a while. All right. So that wraps up this new segment. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to reward all our hard work and stay up to date with all our videos. Plus, check out NZPocketGuide.com for thousands of tips, hidden gems, and much more. All right, let's go back to the live chat. We had BJN that says, Robin, you ignored my communication to you of 2224. No, I do not have it. So, guys, if we don't read the comments, that means we did not receive it. So you have to put it again. Sorry about that. So yeah, you can always refresh the chat and see what we can see. And I'm working on the system where actually I'll be able to put this chat on screen. So bear with. This is going to be another source of a lot of breakage in the foreseeable future, obviously, because I'm extremely unlucky with trying to attempt to do things good for you guys. Oh, I just put the band back on top. All right, so let's go back. I'm reading all the comments. We have... yeah, Clay and Extreme Talota talk about Wales versus the All Blacks. If you can give us the score, we'll announce the scores. But yeah, hopefully Wales lost. Samuel T says, hi there. Do you think it would be very difficult for unvaccinated people to work/move to New Zealand soon? How they are starting a 2-tier system soon? Yeah, that is going to be very, very tough. Like even in New Zealand, right? There is... for hospitality, you know, employers have the right to refuse workers if they don't want to get vaccinated and all this kind of thing. So if you choose not to be vaccinated, coming to New Zealand and finding a work in New Zealand is going to be extremely hard, right? So this 2-tier system hasn't been talked about for quite a while now, and they're prioritizing like people which are vaccinated and everything like that. So that's going to be an afterthought. So when you say traveling to New Zealand soon, yeah, like nowhere near soon. I do not see unvaccinated people in New Zealand having an easy path to come to New Zealand until at least 2023, if not later. That would be my personal opinion. Obviously, a lot of things may change around, but for unvaccinated people, it's going to be very hard to come to New Zealand. And even when in New Zealand, finding a job is going to be extremely difficult since, you know, for example, hospitality employers will, you know, have the right to say, no, you've got to get vaccinated. And there is a push for tourism employers to be able to do the same thing. And I think that's going to be something much, much, much more common. So if you are able to get a job as soon as possible. That will make your life much easier and make everybody much safer. Christina says, please sir, I'm from Africa. I wish to know how long do the working visa stay to come out? Every working visa has different conditions, so you need to go on immigration.govt.nz. There's a link in the description below, and you'll be able to find the information for your specific case because everybody will be quite different. There's a, you know, there's like a little questionnaire that you answer, and it will tell you which visa you can apply for. It's quite handy. Rahul Sharma says, I have a work visa. When the border will be open, please answer this. We just talked about it. So yeah, that's the latest news that we have right now. They're just changing a little bit how the MIQ is working, but so far it's not going to open until well, so far their plan is up to Q1, so Q1 to 2022. So that's January, February, March. So those 3 months they're already having a plan on how they want to manage isolation. So I don't see a border opening happening before that, and it's probably going to be much later with that. So let's just plan for, like, you know, the later half of 2022 for now. And Raul says from India and give us a nice little heart. I love it.
Nice.
Okay. Clay says that was 54-16, so Wales got their ass handed out to them. I love it. I shouldn't have said that word. Got their buttocks. Here you go. Monkey Punk says, can you get an extension if you enter the country with the NZETA? So if you enter the country with an NZETA, that means you're coming as a tourist. So you're coming on a tourist visa. Even if you don't need a visa, you're from a visa waiver country, you're still considered to be a tourist in New Zealand. At that point, you can work with Immigration New Zealand to see if you have a path towards getting another type of visa to stay in New Zealand longer. However, if you came to New Zealand on a tourist visa with the intention to find a work, for instance, this is a pretty big red flag and pretty easy flag for Immigration New Zealand to actually notice, and that's not going to be a good path for you to be able to come and stay in New Zealand for longer. So you may as well declare your intention straight away and try to apply for the correct visa right away to avoid disappointment. Yeah, before coming to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yes. Zubair says, still no news about work visa open. No news, but as I just answered to Rahul, probably the later half of 2022 for now. And obviously we will keep you guys posted, as soon as we get news. Clay says, people with COVID allowed to isolate at home. People without COVID must wait for a spot in the MIQ lottery. It seems logically fair. Yeah, we're reporting what happens. We're not going to the politics of it. Yeah. But I feel you, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, Kedar says, sir, about Indian student, please. Well, as I just mentioned, we know that we just talked about the news and how the managed isolation quarantine is going to be working from now on. So that may help students which are coming for a longer period of time to be able to make their way here, but there's still going to be extra fees. There's still going to be quarantine. Then you're still going to need the right visas in order to come and to actually, have a spot. And the New Zealand government will have to decide to actually give you a spot. So at this stage, it's not much news, but there's news on how the borders is managed. Cole says, when do you think kids will be eligible for the vaccines? So in New Zealand, I think they're already looking at like teens vaccines. They've been looking at that at the moment. So yeah, and there's places such as Fiji and everything which are using the same vaccine that New Zealand, the Pfizer vaccine, which are already giving it to younger people. Like kids, like really little kids, I obviously don't know. I'm not a doctor or an epidemiologist or anything like that. It's a word, epidemiologist, I did not expect for me to be able to say that easily, but nowadays we say it so often. Anyway, so I don't know just right now, but I think that before the end of the year, there is going to be vaccines for under 18 in New Zealand, pretty much for sure.
I mean, if they want to be able to get that vaccination percentage up as high as they want to, then surely that includes the kids as well.
Adil says, Robin, I found the website of the Ministry of Education in the description, but not the other two. Please add for future live stream. Okay, I can't click right now, but yeah, there. So immigration.govt.nz and doc.govt.nz. But yes, I will look into adding them. Monkey Punk say thank you. just a sentence. Monkey Punk say thank you. Okay. Then we're having Zubair that says, best of luck in New Zealand World Cup from Pakistan. I bet that's cricket. I hope.
Or maybe people are talking about rugby. Maybe it's rugby. We might be the experts in travelling in New Zealand, but we're certainly not the experts in any sport.
Yeah, we're not good with sports.
Knowing what is happening in the world of sport, I'm afraid. So.
Emoji Guy says, like the live stream. Yeah, that's true. 26 of you guys are currently watching, and we only have 3 likes. So can we get that up to something about more even, like 26 viewers and 26 likes? Is there a way to make that work? What's can Laura
what do we have to do?
Yeah, can we get even shorter hair for Laura right here? Speaking of that, also, vote on the poll. So hit like, vote on the poll, do all that. That'd be fun. Yeah. Okay, what do we have? Look at that. Some lovely people have hit like. Look at that. We doubled the amount of like. 3 of you guys did click like. You guys are awesome. Every single one of the one I click like right now. Know within yourself, you're awesome. You tell YouTube that we're doing a good job. And that is somewhat nice. Nathan says, where were you filming for tips in November? I was just wondering. For the tips in November, we were not too far from the Tongariro River in the central North Island. I think that's where we were.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I did film that a couple of months ago. I did batch like 2 of them together because I was like, I don't know what, if we're not going to go in lockdown.
Don't tell everyone our secrets.
But yeah, sometimes I do a couple of videos in a row. Yeah.
By
the way, speaking of videos, I did release my 101 best thing to do in New Zealand videos. It started on Wednesday. Can you tell people to go and watch it? Because I don't even have my 300 views. I did not that much, but Damn, that was a lot of work, guys. That was many
Yeah.
weeks of work, and there is like 200 views on the video. That is so sad.
Yeah, so basically for the rest of the year, Robin is going to be going through the 101 best things to do in New Zealand. So you know how much there is to do in New Zealand. There's lots of amazing experiences, amazing natural attractions to see, amazing adventure activities, or even relaxing in hot pools, all that sort of stuff. Robin is going to be covering on the 101 best things to do in New Zealand, working backwards from 101 all the way to number 1 by the end of the year. So yeah, go check that out. We're doing it in 10 activity installments.
Yes.
So you can see week by week what are the best activities to do in New Zealand.
Yeah. So if you guys wanna just watch that video, maybe share it on social media and everything, that'd be so good. It genuinely was a lot of work. So if you guys feel like sharing it and getting more people involved in that, so there's gonna be another one coming on Wednesday, and I'm gonna keep on going through that, and at the end of the year you're gonna know my number 1. Okay, where are we on? We have so we have skipped some people, but no, I'm gonna go back and make sure that I read every comment. Phil Spencer Harris says hi. How are you doing, Phil? And then we're having kia ora to you two from Spider-Mech. Can't give you an award for the best nickname. I gave it to Monkey Punk this week, so I'm sorry, Spider-Mech. So you're not getting the award back. And it says, kia ora to you two, we meet again. When is our border open? If open, what are the rules? Well, right now the border's not open, so I don't know the rules just yet. But if you rewind a little bit, we just talked about the news and the new MIQ kind of requirements. And I may make a separate video this week to just kind of clearly go over what are the current rules. And I think that's going to be quite helpful to everybody. So actually tell me in the comments if you think I should do a video like that. Just making really clear, like, this is the new rules and this is how it works. And yeah, I'll do that for you. Okay, we have Rahul that says, thank you for answering my question. Laura, thanks you. That's nice.
You're very welcome.
Don't forget to vote on the poll, guys. It's very important to vote on the poll.
Our polls are becoming less and less important, I feel.
No, it's very important. Critical. Cole says, I am from West Auckland. They say I'm at a suburb of interest. Oh, I can tell where you are now. Good. Well, stay home. Just enjoy being home, and watch some of our videos and just find yourself some good excuses not to leave home.
Can we suggest the 101 things to do in New
He
Zealand?
he said he loved watching it.
Oh,
so
okay, that's good. Well, maybe watch it again.
Okay. Phil Spencer said, check the link above. It will answer most of your questions. Spencer, you can't post links on a live chat on YouTube, sorry. But yeah. Extreme Talota says, I'm not good with sports either.
Sure.
The job of the man is a rugby referee, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, Anthony Comstock said, Laura, your hair looks good, but I liked it longer. Ooh.
I have to agree.
Yeah, so if you do agree with that, vote for horrible. And if you hate Laura's hair, hit like. If you like Laura's hair, hit like. There you go. Cool. So we have Sam Smith that says, can we have a live session with travel questions only? No immigration, no sport, and no news.
Well, if you guys ask your questions about travelling in New Zealand, we will be absolutely ecstatic to answer them. And we have had a few live sessions recently that have been really good with, we've been answering about, things to see in New Zealand, penguins. We always love talking about penguins in New Zealand. But yeah, if you guys have any sort of travel-related New Zealand questions, we will definitely answer them for you.
Yeah, let's put us on the high. We're always really happy when we finish a live session, and especially during those COVID times, and we actually had some travel questions. It makes us really happy. We're like, hey, you know what? We talked about this. We talked about that.
We don't blame you guys. We know it's really frustrating to have the borders constantly closed, and you're dreaming of coming to New Zealand, but we just can't make that dream come true just yet. So we do understand that, that is the subject that people want to talk about, and of course, it's hard to sort of start planning like what you're going to be doing when you don't even know when you're able to come to New Zealand. But like I said at the beginning of the 3 times we restarted this live session, you can always start planning what you're going to be doing when you're coming here, and that's what we can help with.
There you go. She's right. Okay, so we have Nathan that says, I'm waiting for the next part of the 101 Things to Do in New Zealand. Every Wednesday it's going to come out. And Collie that says, I honestly loved seeing the 101 best things.
Oh, good.
Awesome. Guys, seriously, feel free to share it. Ton of works behind that. Yeah, Phil Spencer says, Sam Smith, there is no travel. So yeah, they're talking together. So I'm going to skip that. And then Phil Spencer Harris says, oops, sorry, no problem. It's just on the YouTube stuff. It just doesn't allow you to share links. So here you go. Okay, we have Baby Burns is back. Yeah. And says Victoria says there will be opening borders for international